I've gathered the top 5 different articles that I read this week around technology that I really enjoyed, and I think they're worth sharing because they share different sort of perspectives on many different topics that people have been looking into. Some of them oppose each other, but it's actually a bit funny because they're written by different authors, but they're still sort of around the same topics. Now, yes, if you guessed that it's about AI, you're probably right. So I'm going to be talking about like 5 different articles, and only one of them is not about AI. The remaining 4 are definitely about AI. And the first one is actually one that I really liked. It's one that I just read now, actually. The rest I've read throughout the week. I'll be trying to do this almost once a week or twice a week, where I would gather like some news articles and talk about it that are regarding technology and the industry in general. But this one is really cool because it seems like it is actually a little bit of a win. So the title is just over here: video game performers reach agreement with 80 video games on AI terms. Now, in case you don't know, video game performers are basically the heart and soul of any video game that anyone plays. So they can be like the voice actors that voice the characters in the game. They can be the ones that create the actions, because not all actually programmatically, and it's a bit sad that people don't know this, but a lot of the time it's done exactly how they do in movies, where they bring in an actual actor, they record them moving, speaking, whatever, and then they base the game off of it. Sometimes that gets translated automatically on in the game, and sometimes they actually just model it based on whatever that actor did. Now, any game that you've played, especially the expensive ones, like the famous ones like Grand Theft Auto, God of War, Red Dead Redemption, anything really, any of these big games, even Call of Duty, the voice actors, they already were not getting paid that much. Some studios do pay them a lot, and it's amazing. But now with AI and with how easy it is sometimes to actually copy someone's voice and copy someone's technique in speaking and presenting, what some studios have been doing is that they would actually mimic or copy the voice actors from previous games, and they would include it in their new games. And because of that, it's obviously not fair. And because of it, a lot of people have been on strike to actually continue working, because they realize that anything they say from that point can be used literally against them to make them redundant. And the best thing is that finally some studios are actually agreeing or reaching an agreement with those performers, and they're letting them know that, okay, we're not going to do it, or at least we're going to do it using some agreement, like we'll let you know. Now, anything regarding this agreement can be found over here. I'll leave the link. There's an updated one actually, but there's something here regarding consent, for example, where a studio has to let the character or the performer know before they actually use their voice or their technique, which I thought would be obvious, but apparently it's not. Compensation, so if we will make someone completely redundant because we're using just the digital version or like the AI version of it, they need to get paid. Again, something that I thought was actually always there, but turned out it's not. But what this article says is that basically over 80 different video games are now going to be agreeing to that new agreement, and they're going to be working with the performers, or at least coming to an agreement with them on how they can still include them or at least compensate them. Some, however, studios, which are including Disney, I'm trying to find it right now, but it was just over here. So some of them including, let's see, including Disney and Warner Bros. Are actually not agreeing to this agreement, which is sad because they are the most, they're like the richest ones from this whole list. They still disagree with this, and so the striking against them will continue. So very weird. Out of all the industries, and we're gonna see a lot of the other articles speak about how AI is actually good for jobs, not bad, but out of all the industries, I never thought that acting or performing or anything related to like creativity or art would be one of the ones that get taken away with AI. Like this whole time, the whole idea is that AI can do boring tasks, and we get to focus on ones that are creative, ones that have emotion in it, ones that are fun to participate in. And I think game performers definitely have fun. They're definitely being creative. They're definitely sort of giving a lot of emotion into it. And so it was surprising to see that it's actually one of the jobs being threatened. But at the same time, it was great to read this news article and actually find out that somewhere some people are actually winning and they are being heard and they're going on strikes and it's actually working. Companies are listening to them. Hopefully some of these bigger companies also do the same. Now, the second article contradicting the first one that we just read, which is about the video game performers and how it's not affecting, how it is affecting their jobs. The second one actually speaks about how AI may not steal many jobs after all. It may just make workers more efficient. Now, this one is actually very interesting because at a first glance, reading the article, we realized that, okay, well, maybe AI is not actually taking any jobs from anyone. And they use an example here where a company called Alorica or Alorisa or Alorisha, I'm just going to say Alorica. They have been using chatbots on their websites, or they have been allowing their staff to use chatbots to speak to up to 200 different languages and 75 dialects, so they can have only one staff member being able to communicate with people that speak 200 different languages rather than having someone that speaks for each of these languages. So basically one person to 200 different languages. And it's saying that instead of it threatening your job, it's actually allowing one person to do their job really well or do more capabilities or do more work. Now, at first glance, that's great because it means, yes, you've got security. You can now do more at your job. But after I read this twice, and it only took me the second time when I read it, I was like, wait, hold on a second. Well, one person now can do the job of, let's say, 200 people. Now, AI didn't take the jobs away from anyone, but it did allow people to sort of compete really well against others. And instead of having different people doing one job, you can just have one person with AI do a job of so many people. Now, surprisingly though, even though that's what I first thought when I read this article, it keeps on going and it explains how even though, again, we're going to call it Alorica, please correct me on how to pronounce this, but it actually goes exactly against what I said, that even though that seems to be the case where one person can do many jobs, if anything, ever since they integrated AI into their communication and their customer service, they've actually been hiring so much more workers and employers because they have been getting more work and now they need more workers to do that work, which is surprisingly, I thought it would be exactly the opposite, but it seems like some companies are doing this in a really good way where you can actually get someone to do the job, they can use AI and you get a job done in a much better way and a much quicker way while also having people working. Now, this does, however, mention later on that AI might not necessarily eliminate the number of total jobs around, so it might remove some jobs and create other ones, but it's definitely evident that some people will not have jobs at some point, or they will at least have to reskill or learn something else and get into a whole different industry. I really like this one though, because it looks at it from different ways and then it goes back and says that yes, even though at the moment you can actually have AI working with people, eventually AI will be so good that you don't need people, which again, I still really want to understand how that would work, but I would recommend reading this one really well. It will answer all your questions in regards to like jobs being taken away, and you also get to see the actual CEO speaking about this and speaking about how the company improved and hired more people, and it was all because of using AI. So it's a very different intake to what people expect. It's actually different to what I expected even after reading this the second time, but it's worth it. It's good news at the end, and I guess we'll see how it goes with that one. Now, again, to support this article, we've got, and I swear I didn't purposely go out there and just pick the AI ones. I just literally went on the news. I use APNews. They seem to be non-biased as much as I think. And most of the articles were just about new news about AI, like all the time. Now, this one is very interesting because it's in an industry that I didn't really look into, or is being used in an application that I didn't realize. But police officers are starting to use AI chatbots to write a crime report where they hold up in court. Now, this actually did happen. So a specific department has been using the dash cam to record what's going on throughout the day of the police officer. And instead of it taking 30 to 45 minutes writing up a report about the search, so they were going on a search, instead of spending 30 to 45 minutes writing up a report about the search, the camera just did it in apparently like 8 seconds. Sorry, not the camera. Like the AI used the footage from the camera, which records audio and visual, in 8 seconds. They were the whole report, and even though apparently it said it was better report than I could have ever written, and it was 100% accurate, it flowed better. Now, this is very cool because this is another example where AI can help you in your job. It wouldn't take your job. It can help you in your job so that you get to actually do what you started doing this job for. So you get to be out on the field, you get to do whatever searches you want to do, or whatever saving or whatever arrests you want to do, rather than being behind the computer and spending 30 to 45 minutes writing a report. And on top of that, apparently it was 100% more accurate. So again, this is good news. Now, I like this article because it then goes further and it starts to speak about some of the concerns. And I definitely think these concerns will happen at some point. So some of the concerns here are things like racial biases and prejudice. And the more that dash games or the more reports are being written, there's going to be a very clear pattern that will be picked up by these machine learning models or by these AI. And I guess the good thing about humans is that, well, I hope, at least in most cases, a professional can look at a specific report, look at a specific amount of data, and not jump into conclusions. They can hold back for a second and say, okay, well, even though all of these align to a specific criminal, for example, let's take a step back and look at it from a different way. While machine learning models, they suck at doing that. They actually do, the best thing they do is look at data, see the probability of something, and then act or give suggestions based on these data. So I think as long as there is a way to eliminate that into the report writing or into making any decisions rather than just documenting what happened or writing the report like this article actually said, I think that's a great thing. I think that would work really well. I think, in my opinion at least, that's the only way I see this working properly. Now, the final two are a bit funny. So this is, so far it's been, I guess, examples of AI working really well to the point where it either helped with jobs or removed some jobs. This one, on the other hand, is different. So it's social platform X at its AI chatbot after election officials warned that it spreads misinformation. Now, apparently, I don't know if anyone actually uses this. I personally don't use it, but apparently Grok, which is Twitter's or X's AI, like ChatGPT, has been spreading false information. Now, I don't think it's purposely spreading false information. I think it's just going on the internet and providing wrong information about elections in America or in the United States. Now, for 10 days straight, it would be providing informations about elections eligibility or elections date in an incorrect way, or just in a straight up like wrong way. Like it would provide the wrong dates, or if you ask it, hey, can I vote, it would give you wrong information. It wouldn't actually give you correct information. And so the government reached out to Twitter and they actually asked them if they can make some changes, and they did. So for now, what it does is that it would say things or it would redirect the user to the correct website or to the correct platform where they can provide their own information, or where they can receive their own information from it. I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, where it would say something like, for accurate and up-to-date information about the 2024 US elections, please visit vote.gov. So instead of it providing the actual information, it would actually just redirect the user to vote.gov, where apparently they can get accurate information from there. Now, again, this is one of those things where it's a bit funny because while AI is still advancing and there's seems to be like new news every single day about how good AI was, in the real world, and when it comes to like billions of users using it at the same time, once you start looking into it, there is so many mistakes that it does. And I think with platforms like X and Facebook and Insta, even if it does this mistake like 1% of the time, that is enough to get like millions of people to not vote or to get wrong information. And I think this is where it becomes very dangerous. I like how it now redirects the user to a place rather than actually giving an answer. I just think most people trust AI too much that they wouldn't double check. I certainly don't in some times, but you should definitely check. Most of the time it is actually wrong. Finally, the final and the last article, which has nothing to do with AI. I actually included this one because I liked it. I'm glad that people are starting to look at things like this. But Sweden joins countries seeking to end screen time for children under 2. Now, this is pretty good, and it says that majority of children now spend way too much time on screens or behind screens. It also blames COVID and lockdown a little bit, saying that kids are just not used to going out as much anymore, and that they spent a lot of time on social media or on their devices during lockdown, and so now we should be making changes. Now, it's saying that from 2 to 5 years old, the maximum number of hours they should have is 1 hour behind the screen, and for people from 6 to 12, it should be 2 hours. Now, I know every kid I know so far has already been going against these hours, so I want to see how this works, but I also want to see how parents interact with it, because I've been in so many places where, let's say we're sitting in a restaurant or we're sitting in a family gathering, and the parents are sick of the children playing or making some noise, and they give them the iPad or they give them the phone or they give them the TV so that they can sit and stay quiet. Like, I know a lot of parents are complaining so much about screen time for children, but I've seen this, like, physically, where the parents complain that the children are playing because they're making too much noise, and so the children just end up watching TV. And, you know, if you're not going to provide any other form of entertainment, or at least allow them to entertain themselves in whatever way they want to, I think there's no point with rules like this, because it doesn't really work. Anyways, I will link and summarize these in the description. I'll also put it somewhere on the screen here. I hope you enjoyed this kind of episode. It's the first time I do anything like this, but hopefully each week we can have like once or twice where I go over some news and we can read it all together. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this episode. Please leave a like and comment if you have any feedback, or even if you just want to say that you liked it. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next episode.